Welcome to Experience Early Learning. Thank you for joining me as I talk about how to set up your very own child portfolio. And we have made this pack available to you to set up your binders and make it super easy to at least get it set up. So I'm going to show you what's included here and how to set up your binder. Then we'll talk a little bit more about how to actually use this throughout the year. Okay, so this content is available on our website, both digitally, so you could download and print as many as you want for all of your children, or you can see this is a pretty thick pack. It's about 70 sheets. So if you would like the convenience of just getting a printed one mailed to you, that is also available. So again, those are both available on our store. If you are already using Experience Toddler or Experience Preschool curriculum, then as a bonus on member resources, this is available free to download. Okay, so what this is, well, first of all, this is the cover. So you would need to purchase a binder. I have here a 2-inch binder, and I just slide this right in. And that makes my cover. And the next sheet lists all 35 skills that you're going to be assessing and documenting throughout the school year. So I like to put that on the back. It makes a nice little back sheet. And then finally here on the spine, you'll see that you do have these binder spines for a very small binder all the way to a very big one. So you can use whichever size connects with the size binder that you chose to use. You could write or print or have your child write their name, and then you just cut it out and slide it in. This space right here is also very nice to either cut out a photo of your child, or they could draw a self-portrait right here in this little space. All right. The next sheet is going to have your tab inserts. So I purchased this binder and also a set of tabs so that I could set up my binder. And again, I'm going to use this all year. So it's a little bit of effort right now, but then you'll be done and you'll have it for the whole school year. Now, I used these smaller tabs to make mine, and you can see I just cut them out and I glued them right on. So you can use whatever kind of tabs you want, any kind of dividers. You can even set up this binder any way you would like, but I'll just give you an example of how one way might look. Okay, so now I already set this up so I could flip through it with you. Behind the welcome, you're going to have this nice sheet that describes kind of what is a child portfolio, what skills are being covered, how does this work, and then you could also put your own note here. If you are a teacher in a classroom sending these home to parents, you might want to have your own note to the family here. This is a special knowledge web, which is how throughout the year you're going to keep track of the skill growth on this one chart all year long. So this really shows the whole child more than just everyone as a linear chart. So I love how this kind of circle web is going to really show that whole child's development. As you are recording the child's skill level for each skill, so these are the 35 skills. Benchmark level 1, you would fill in this dot. Maybe later in the year they get to benchmark 2. Or if you're working with a preschooler, they're probably more between 3 and 5 level. So they might be really high on one, lower on another. And you'll be tracking this throughout the year. And then you kind of connect the dots and you'll see that child's unique blob. And as they get older, you could even use this for 2 years. You might even see that blob getting bigger and bigger. So this is, again, just the 1 year full picture view of the child's development. So you stick that here. And then we get into the domain tabs with the domain icons. So a domain is basically a category of child development or a bucket of skills within one area of child development. So we've got social, emotional, physical and motor, language and literacy, math, science, social studies, and the creative arts. So in each of these tabs, what you'll notice is on the back is a definition of that domain, so that category in general. And then also here's a list of the 4 skills that fall under that category. So it's nice and clear and listed. This is really wonderful for you as a teacher just to have some working knowledge, also some great research to cite for why you're working on these types of skills with young children. And then also over here, we start to have a sheet for each of the skills within that domain. So here you see you have SS1, SS2, SS3, SS4. SS1, culture and community, same icon, and SS2, civics and economics, that's the second skill. The third skill in social studies is geography. And the fourth skill in social studies is history and sense of time. So what is that skill? And why is it important to young children? I mean, we're working with, 1, 2, 3, 4-year-olds. Why does this matter for them? Why and how does a child learn this skill over time? What does that look like for an infant versus a toddler, a preschooler, and a school-age child? So this is written in very friendly terminology. It's a quick read so parents can just get a context and working knowledge of what that skill is. And then we kind of translate this information here into this continuum. And these are those dots, the developmental benchmarks. And you can see there's like lines in between because a child is rarely like right on that dot. So you're going to kind of evaluate, are they doing this without any help, or do you have to help them a little bit? If you're helping them a little bit, then you're going to put your dot just below that. Those are the dots that then you would record back here on this skill web, this knowledge web. So then you'd be able to find that same skill, count out, 3 dots, boop, and you would fill that in. Okay. And so this is not curriculum specific, this is skill specific. So you could use this with any curriculum program or system that you are engaged with. You do not have to use it specifically with the Experience curriculum program. However, if you are using it with Experience curriculum, we do make it really easy. We love to do assessment and documentation during the natural play of the day. So for example, in the Experience toddler and preschool curriculum, you receive a whole pack of these learning games. They're embedded into the daily lesson plans, but we also give these pull-out sheets that we call the learning games. And each day there's one special learning game. When children participate in this, then you are going to be able to do one of these observation and documentation points. And we give you a lot of support so you know what it looks like, what level they might be at. And we also show you how to use the materials that are included in your curriculum kit and use them with an infant versus a toddler, a preschooler, or a school-ager. And then this QR code you can scan and watch a little video of a child actually interacting at that level. So that'll give you a lot of supports around what this skill looks like in play with this specific activity. And then here is the skill that you're actually observing and documenting. It's SS1. And here's this little brown globe icon that we just were looking at. So let's find that. I'm going to flip the pages here to brown. Everything's color-coded in our Experience curriculum system. We like to use lots of visual cues. Okay, so I've got my brown, I've got my globe. Now I just need to find SS1. Well, here it is. So this is culture and community, matches. This family puppets is my learning game. So I'm going to write family puppets right here. And then I'm going to write the date when the child played the game. And I'm going to record which level they were at right here on the dot. So you can see there's room for multiple assessments and multiple games on that same skill, and there's lots of room here on the back. So you can write more notes about what happened during that game, or if you are recording additional assessment points because you're gonna do this all year or use the same book for 2 years. There's definitely lots of room here. So this is an example of a play-based resource that you can observe and document, record in your portfolio, and then you might even want to save what the child made as that child work sample. That's the evidence of that documentation point. So that can get a little bit bulky, but what I like to do, I have another couple tabs here. Let me show you. So I have one that's called Learning Games. So that's all about these. I'm not going to put a sheet like this in for every single game that the child plays for the families. You could. This is actually available as a digital download as well on our store. So even if you don't use Experience Curriculum, but you want to use our learning games and connect it here to the assessment system, go onto our additional resources within our store and you'll be able to have these games to play. So here is the learning game calendar though for the month of September, and you can get this on your member resources if you are using the curriculum, and you can download it and print it for your families so they could at least see which games all month are featured. So here you can see here was the family puppets, that was during lesson 2. And each day you're going to record an assessment for each of these games. Now, if you're using Experience Curriculum, every day you're doing 6 or 7 different intentional activities or projects with children. You can assess and document any of those. You could be doing it all day long, but we just wanted to make sure that you focus and have at least one assessment per day. We've also mapped out these calendars, so after 3 months, you will actually cover all 35 of these skills and have a written assessment data point for all 35 of these skills if you just are using our curriculum and following these STAR learning games. So that should help you make sure that you're covering it all, that every child is being observed and documented, and then if you want to add on more, because there was another game the child played and you're like, oh my goodness, that was so amazing, and it was maybe a math skill. So again, you could just come straight in here to your math section, find whichever skill, maybe the child was counting and counted up to 14 for the first time, so you want to record that. You would name what the activity was or what the child was doing. You could make a little note, put the date, record the level. Okay, so we talked about the learning games, and then also within Experience Preschool Curriculum, we cover a new theme every single month, and these thematic studies are global themes that help connect all of these different very abstract skill concepts into a tangible, relatable experience for kids. So these are all of the different themes that we cover over a 3-year time period within Experience Curriculum, both toddler, baby, and preschool. So as your child is participating in the Experience Curriculum system, you can start to check off which of the themes you have covered. And again, if you use this same book or even pull out this sheet, if you use this for the year or even up to 3 years, then you'll be able to mark it all off. Each time in Experience Preschool that you have a new thematic study, you will receive a portfolio sheet like this for each child, already printed and available in the Lesson 20 bag of materials. In that Lesson 20 bag, you can pull this out, and this is a place for the child to draw a self-portrait, draw a picture of their friend, draw their memory, but a documentation of how their drawing is evolving month over month. So this is a great place to just kind of capture their drawing, their memory, and each theme on the back will have this theme web so parents can also remember when they learned all about me, we talked about body parts and 5 senses and clothing, so that the parents are understanding that their children are learning skills, but they're also learning about their world, about themselves and their community, and all of these concepts and all this vocabulary. So it's really a wonderful tool just to put in here. Then I like to save the child work samples behind the theme. And it also puts it all at the back, because if you're putting it in between here, it might get really bulky. So this is kind of more your skills and notes and reference. And then back here, I put my work samples. So I would have my one theme portfolio sheet, and then my few work samples, another theme portfolio sheet, and I'd have my other samples, theme portfolio sheet. That way that you can easily find the work samples that go with the theme and also with then the learning game. Because a lot of times, for example, with this family puppet, we include all those supplies. So you could save that, and then when the family's seeing culture and community, oh, here's the puppet we actually made, here's the assessment mark, and it all connects so nicely together for them. And even better yet, this is a beautiful keepsake that your parents will just love. And if you're the parent yourself, this will be something you'll really cherish for many years to come. So have fun assessing and documenting all the learning and growth of your child this year.